We have LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell with us as well this morning, and I know you had just been at the hospital. You're here with us now for a scheduled monthly talk that we do. Can you tell us a little bit about what you learned this morning when you were there?
No, you pretty much heard the detail from the California Highway Patrol as to the circumstances of the collision. The main focus now is the family, both the immediate family of the officer as well as the police family, the Alhambra PD family and the extended family throughout the area. Everybody comes together in a time like this, very difficult, young officer here, and everybody knows that there, but for the grace of God, it could be them on any given day. Our heart goes out to what they're experiencing now, and certainly we'll all pull together and try and be as helpful as we can as the week and the days go forward.
Chief, we know when this happens to one department, it really affects all of law enforcement because you are a family. How do you handle when something happens like this? I know you've experienced it, unfortunately, many times in your own department.
Yeah. You focus on the issues that are important. Treating the officer's remains in a dignified way. There'll be a procession to the coroner's office. Everybody comes together for that, and that provides some level of closure. But then, in the days and weeks ahead, the grieving process goes on. Another agency or several agencies will assist with handling the call load for that city. And everybody kind of just looks out for each other as best we can. We've gone through too many of these here, certainly recently. It's been a rough year, but I think everybody pulling together, looking out for the needs of each other, looking out for the needs of the family, making sure all of those are met, and being as compassionate as we can for everybody involved in this.
Well, thank you for being here still, and,
Sure.
and we're so sorry that this happened. You are here for a monthly scheduled appearance where we talk about things that really impact our viewers. One of the things coming up, we are a week away from Thanksgiving. We've got the holiday season about to come out. We've had a lot of home invasions in the area over the last year. How are you telling people specifically to protect themselves this holiday season if they plan to go out of town?
Yeah, a home invasion would be a different thing. That's when somebody is in the house and somebody breaks in. That hasn't so much been the case here recently, but we have burglaries, we have porch pirates, we have a lot of things that occur during the holiday season.
Oh yeah, those porch pirates.
Yeah, an uptick in that. And really what it comes down to is there's no better system than a good neighbor. Being a good neighbor and having a good neighbor. Having somebody track your packages when you know it's going to come, have a neighbor pick it up if you can't be there. In cases where you get a lot of packages, get a drop box that's locked so whoever delivers the package can put it in there and it'll be safe. And then certainly cameras that monitor what's going on. So if it does happen, you have some clues as to what to be able to look for, type of car, suspect, so forth.
I have to say, we all get driven crazy by the crazy neighbor, like 90% of the year until it's this time of year, and then you're like, hey, can you watch my stuff?
We need you.
Exactly.
All right, Chief, so according to some data recently released, the number of officer-involved shootings has gone up year over year. I believe the number was close to 50%. Two parts to my question. First part is, what do you attribute that rise to? And secondly, what is the department doing to address this?
Yeah, we do a tremendous amount to address it, and I'd say a model for probably the nation on de-escalation skills, to be able to get to a scene. Most of the time when people call us, it's volatile or violent already, and to be able then to interject yourself into the situation and be able to get a peaceful resolution. We go to hundreds of thousands of calls a year, and a very, very small number end up in any kind of a violent encounter between the officers and the suspect. But for those who do, we take it extremely serious. We investigate it like probably no one else does. We have had a model for over 20 years in doing that has been replicated around the world. We bring out people to be able to do their role in the investigation, certainly all of our investigators, but also then to include the Inspector General, in some cases the State Attorney General's rollout team, the District Attorney's rollout team, the coroners. They all do independent investigations. So if people are concerned that anybody is trying to hide anything or do anything nefarious, it is all out there. It's as transparent as can be. We have a system to evaluate the investigation, the evaluation, and then ultimately ultimately the adjudication, unlike anywhere else. And I think members of the public, if they were to become aware of that, they would be very impressed with the level of detail and attention to making sure everything was done right. We assess the actions of the officers right from the original radio call through their response to their communication to what they do when they arrive on the scene. That's validated by body-worn camera in-car video systems, and all of that is on the web. Once it's adjudicated, it's on YouTube. And if you pull up critical incidents LAPD, it's on there, and it's graphic, but it shows what the officers encounter as they go out there. A very small percentage, less than 1% of our contacts with the public end up in one of these significant uses of force, just to provide some context for us. Our folks do an incredible job in de-escalating situations and coming to a peaceful resolution. When I was sheriff, I looked at the number of, or the percentage of people involved in use of force by the police, and over 70% were dealing with issues of mental health issues or were under the influence of alcohol or drugs. So when we talk about de-escalation, it makes it that much more difficult if the person you're dealing with is not in a state of mind to be able to be rational.
So I had no idea you could look up that stuff on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Where else can people find data if they're concerned about crime or things in their neighborhood?
Our website.
Is there?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, we put a lot on the website. And then the relationship, if I would strongly encourage anybody who's interested to reach out and get to know your senior lead officer. Senior lead officer is assigned to each basic car area. We break the city down into 168 segments or basic cars. The senior lead officer is in charge of that area, and they can give you whatever you need. They're the ones looking to solve problems and not just respond to radio calls, the symptoms. They try to get at the underlying cause.
And many times, Chief, the officers who were involved in these incidents, their body-worn camera video is posted on that YouTube site.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's part of the whole investigation.
Yeah.
Body car, all of the video in the environment, so anything burglar cameras or street video, in-car video, and dash cam video. So it tells a story. It's like watching what people would be used to watching in a movie or a TV show. But it also shows the graphic nature of what officers deal with on calls. Yeah.
Well, especially when you talk about that 70% of mental health or alcohol and drug abuse. The LA City Council is discussing an ordinance that would prevent officers from using less lethal weapons when it comes to peaceful protests and journalists. I know there was a lot of discussion around this when the ICE raids were happening and those types of things. What would that do to your department when you're looking at this ordinance? Yeah,
first of all, we don't use less lethal for peaceful protests. We're out there, and our main focus is to ensure that everybody can exercise their First Amendment rights. When things become unruly, when things get violent, we declare an unlawful assembly and we clear an area. Once that area is cleared to the best of our ability, those who remain in the area then will have to be forced to leave the area in order to prevent violence, looting, arson, a lot of the things that we see. In doing that, we use less lethal projectiles to be able to disperse the group and get them out of the area to restore order. If you're going to limit less lethal, what does that tell you?
Well, what does it mean?
Why would anybody want to limit our ability to de-escalate a situation? Those are tools that have evolved over many years. A 40 millimeter, you hear that terminology. We use 37 and 40 millimeter. 37 are 5 projectiles that come out in one shot. They're rubber, soft rubber, and they're designed to bounce and then hit the person in the legs to disperse the group. The 40 millimeter is target specific for someone who's exhibiting assaultive behavior on the officers or someone else in that environment, and that is target specific. So when they fire those, the hope is that they never have to escalate beyond that step, and the vast majority of the time that works extremely well. There have been cases cited where members of the media have been hit, and again, that is never our focus, nor is it to shoot less lethal and hit police officers in the environment. But anybody in that environment, it's a volatile, hostile environment, potentially could be hit with one of these less lethal, not intentionally in many cases. So when I look at the whole context and the premise that we're intentionally shooting or using less lethal on either media or peaceful protesters, that is not the case. That is a faulty premise. So my hope is that we'll be able to educate the council, the public, as to what we do and what we don't do. We're there to ensure that everybody is safe, that everybody gets to express their First Amendment rights, and that everybody goes home having done that in a peaceful manner. as we've seen here recently, it only takes a relative handful of people to take a peaceful protest and turn it into an extremely violent protest that includes looting, arson, assaults on officers. We had 52 officers hurt in the most recent unrest that we had. People don't tend to talk about that. They're putting themselves in harm's way. In one case that I can cite on First Street, protesters pulled down awnings, put them in the middle of the street, backed them up with water barricades, used PVC pipe to launch commercial-grade fireworks at our skirmish line, at our officers. That's a potential deadly force situation. My hope is that we can maintain the tools we have to be able to ensure that we resolve these situations in the most peaceful way possible. Taking tools away is not a good public policy idea.
But that's why I want to make sure I'm understanding you. So you're saying, though, if you're a journalist or a peaceful protester and you're in this situation, there is going to be the potential that you could be hit with one of these.
Sure.
You just have to know that that's the case.
Yeah, and our hope is to be able to provide journalists with a place to be able to go to get the story, but we are able to protect them there. They have the right to be wherever they want, and certainly we want to protect them, but also the definition of who is a journalist, right? We have a great relationship with the people we deal with from this station and all the other stations every single day. We have people who abuse that term, who have a cell phone camera in their hand and identify themselves because they have a blog or something, and they're out there, and in some cases they're activists or active protesters at the same time. And so I would love to be able to see us in some fashion have some entity that would define who are
well, we would too, actually.
Duly authorized journalists. That would be very helpful to us.
Chief, while you're here, we'd like to ask you about a case that's making headlines right now, garnered a lot of attention around the world, frankly. It's about a local teenager named Celeste Rivas. Her body, as you know, was found in the trunk of a Tesla that is registered to the singer David. There have been media reports. Some people say he's been called a suspect, attributing your department. Can you clear the air for us? Has the singer David been named as a suspect in this case?
Yeah, I can't clear the air because it's an ongoing investigation, and it would be inappropriate for me to talk about that at this time.
Okay. While we have you here, recruitment was a big deal this year that you were focused on. How are things going, and what are you looking forward to in 2026? You
know, things are going well as far as our ability to be, a place that people want to come to work. Our recruitment numbers are up, applications are up over 26%. So I'm encouraged by that. We have a lot of people wanting to get in the game. We had a falling off of that desire post 2020, and I think we're in a good place now. We have a campaign going on that I think will be successful. It's LAPDunrivaled.com for anybody interested in taking a look at that. I think they'd find that as challenging and something that would be appealing. But we're moving forward. We had issues with our personnel department and the process in getting people hired. People were putting in and they were getting hired by other agencies before we could make a job offer. So I think we've done a lot. We've got a new commanding officer in our personnel division, and then there's new personnel in personnel department that the mayor was instrumental in making that happen, and I think we're on a good footing now moving forward. The big challenge is budget. We have a very, very difficult budget. I'm authorized at this point to hire 240 new officers this year, but I'm looking at losing to attrition potentially 500 to 600.
Oh, wow.
And so we're not going in the right direction. And we have the Olympics a couple of years out, the World Cup next year. We should be boosting our resources and not losing the resources the way we are. So my hope, as well as the council, will realize that and do what they can to be supportive.
All right. Well, we'll check in with you again next month.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
We appreciate you being here.